go ahead and get to this because I've probably been looking at my laptop, like procrastinating for the last 30 minutes. So, my name is Xavier Dixon, and welcome to the Goobville Podcast. Sorry, I don't have no cool intro or nothing. This is actually only the third episode. It's kind of nasty work by me, honestly. But yeah, the season was kind of a bit of a whirlwind. I got caught in some different things. Kind of became a stay-at-home dad throughout the day and working through nights. So that was a bit of a life change for me. So still getting adjusted to that. And yeah, still getting adjusted to that and just trying to figure out a way to keep getting content out to you guys. I've been away from Niners Nation this week because my dad had a stroke last week. He's doing a lot better. Probably didn't tell a lot of people because I didn't really know how to really say it. Because my dad's not really the type to I don't know. He's like such a strong-minded guy. You know what I mean? So it's good to see him getting better. And I'll be getting back to some Niners Nation stuff this week. Probably get into some draft prospects, get into some free agency stuff. So yeah. So I think we should start. I guess we should start with the Super Bowl, just to run down the Super Bowl and kind of what happened. I did pick the Bengals to win. I had the over too, so of course I'm kind of salty about that. But I mean, it was a pretty good game. You see the Rams' motto of going all in pay out for them. So it's just something that I was I wasn't really vouching for, major moves throughout the year, but I definitely thought, John Lynch should have got a corner before the trade deadline. I guess the defensive back group did hold up pretty strong. So, I mean, I guess I can't fault him for that, but I definitely wanted to see him make an aggressive move before the deadline. Clearly, I wanted him to cut Jimmy Garoppolo before the season to save money and, give Lance the reps. But, maybe it turned out for the best for Lance because he's, he did see how Garoppolo operates as a pro and stuff like that. And he should definitely see what not to do. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. He watched exactly what not to do, especially in key situations. So we'll get to that a little bit later. I guess I'll just run down the Super Bowl a little bit just to give my thoughts and, whatever. I guess we could start with the sorry. I don't know what that is. Oh, ESPN. All right. I guess we could start with the MVP. Clearly, I could see why Cooper Kupp gets it. I mean, Offensive Player of the Year, Triple Crown winner, been pretty much the go-to guy on the Rams on offense all year. So, I mean, I definitely thought Aaron Donald won the game on that last drive, but I saw a tweet saying that they put the votes in at the 2-minute warning or something like that. So, I mean, maybe if they had to do it at the end of the game, they might have changed it. I don't know. Clearly everybody was complaining about the Sean McVay runs on 2nd and 10. And of course I was, as a Bengals bettor, I was thinking, oh, it's fine. It's not that bad, this and that. But Stafford ended up doing enough to win the game. It definitely wasn't as pretty by him. It wasn't as prettiest game by him, but as a guy that's kind of, always supported Stafford, I mean, it was kind of cool to see him win. And Aaron Donald's been one of my favorite, athletes. Shoots. It's probably when I was 15 years old, and I'm 25 now. 15, 16 years old, and I'm 25 now. So, I mean, it was definitely good to see him win one after all the accolades he's got for him to add that to his resume. So, I don't know. I don't really have a takeaway from the game. I don't know. I think the Bengals window, I'm not going to say it's closed because they have Burrow, they have Chase, I don't know if Higgins or Boyd, I don't know if they're like still under contract or whatever, but I mean, they have a decent receiving group. I don't know if their defense is I don't know if they're gonna be able to get the output of their defense as they did this season, because it's just kind of hard it's hard to replicate what you did if the talent's not really there. And maybe I'm wrong about the talent. They definitely did some good things this season, so hell, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the main takeaway for me as a 49er fan, as a 49er reporter, Sean McVay won a Super Bowl before Kyle Shanahan did. And Kyle Shanahan had Sean McVay down 10 points in the NFC Championship game. So I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, clearly, McVay is Shanahan's protege in a way, because he's, kind of came up under him in Washington. I mean, maybe McVay probably had some other stops, I'm sure, but I think they kind of really, him, LaFleur, McDaniel, they all kind of really like clicked together in Washington. So I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit disappointing, just because the Niners could have been there. They had the talent to be there, and I hope that the 49ers. I'll probably just jump to the 49ers because I don't really have too much to talk about on the Super Bowl. Sorry. I mean, I shouted out Aaron Donald. I shouted out. Oh, how about Shawn Robinson, man? How about Shawn Robinson, for real? Getting some flowers, because as a defensive tackle, you don't get the love you deserve, because most of the time you're eating up double teams. You don't really have the sack numbers unless you're like, a defensive tackle with pass rushing upside, and he's not really that. I mean, he's more so a run stuffer, but he had a really good game, man. He got a sack. Was very involved in the run game, consistently stuffing stuff. So shout out Alshon along with Aaron Donald. Yeah, so we could just transition into 49er stuff, because I'm not going to be up here too long. I kind of got to get ready for got to clean the house before my wife comes home and gets to yelling and stuff. So yeah, so Shanahan and Sean McVay. I mean, McVay's better. That's all I can say. I mean, he has a ring. He has a championship. Kyle Shanahan does not. So, you could say that the Rams were put in a better position. Sean McVay was put in a better position with the roster makeup, whatever. But I mean, I think it's pretty clear that he has adopted his own kind of mantra of the way things have went, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. I don't really know. Sorry, I've been saying I don't know a lot, but I don't know what that means for this 49er team as far as the Rams winning the championship. Unfortunately, Odell Beckham tore his ACL. I know he had talked about wanting to take a pay cut to stay with the Rams, which is kind of like bad news for the 49ers, as they already have enough good wide receiver groups to go against in the NFC West with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. But if Odell comes back, then that's just gonna retain another really great piece, especially if Robert Woods come back. I think he's under contract. So yeah, I guess we can kind of transition to the NFC Championship game a little bit. I know it's old news with the Super Bowl and everything, but I think you have to talk about it just to analyze the future. I think it's pretty obvious that the Jimmy Garoppolo is over. The Jimmy Garoppolo era is over. That was my latest piece, and that was from the NFC Championship game, and that just really more so comes from him saying that him and Lynch and Shanahan, they've been talking about potential trade partners and stuff like that. So I mean, clearly he knows that. I mean, he's not going to return. So it is Trey Lance time. It is it's a new era. I mean, that's all I can really say. So my main my main points that I really want to get to the NFC Championship, because I'm not going to dwell on it too long, was that the corners were decent. They were decent, but they really need, I don't even want to say a ball hawk. They just need a guy that can kind of be like Velcro. You know what I mean? Jason Verrett was kind of that guy, and maybe they will get him back, but I think they still need to draft a corner, even though I'm high on Diamador Lenore. And my thing is, yeah, I do think Lenore can be straight, because he had some really good strides in the beginning of the season, and obviously in the NFL, in college football, honestly, pretty much any sport, if you're replaced and the other guy's doing decent, I mean, you're not really going to get a chance to get back out there. So I don't know. Maybe it comes into a situation where if they get Verrett back, maybe him. I don't think Thomas is agile enough to play nickel. So maybe Lenore can play nickel, but I don't think he's physical enough to play nickel either. So I don't know. It's a lot. I feel like with the 49ers, with that wide 9 front, it's not even about the wide 9 front. I just feel like with the 49er defense, the nickel corner is so vital to their run fits. I mean, maybe that's any nickel corner, but it just seems like Kwan Williams was just he was just such a, he was almost like a linebacker. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm probably rambling. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, one of my takeaways is that the cornerback position was definitely kind of, and it's not even like they were just getting dismantled, but like the third downs, 11 of 18 on third downs is tough to win a game like that. So I think the pass rush is decent. I do think they need to take an edge rusher. So yeah, I think edge rusher. And I may even change it up from this. I may even just go from they need a corner to maybe they need to just go ahead and get another free safety, because I think somebody's gonna pay Jaquiski Tartt, and I don't think the Niners are gonna do that. I mean, unless he's willing to take a pay cut, which I'm sure he wouldn't want to, and he shouldn't. He's a pretty good player, decent player. I mean, I wanted to be kind of harsh on him. Not harsh on him. I wanted to, talk about the dropped interception. But, I mean, at this point, it's not even really relevant, because the Rams won the Super Bowl, whatever. But it's like, damn, if you do make that play, I mean, But it was definitely plenty of opportunities to win the game. And I think the main point with especially the last two drives with Garoppolo going 1 for 6 for -3 yards and an interception and a penalty, I just think that I think that it was pretty, I'm not gonna say it was pretty obvious, but it was just like I feel like the 49ers, I mean, not even the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan maybe kind of knew that he couldn't really rely on Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is probably going to sound like a hater. It's probably going to sound like I'm like being harsh on Jimmy G, but we've seen throughout the season and throughout Jimmy Garoppolo's 49er tenure that, Kyle Shanahan has had to kind of pretty much hold his hand. And I think that fact that Deebo Samuel came out and said the Rams forced us to pass, I think it's just downright embarrassing. It's just a part of football. It's a passing league. The 49ers have been one of the better running teams the last maybe 4 or 5 years, but I mean, it's a passing league. It just is what it is. So, to come out and say that they forced us to pass, like you were unprepared for it or like you couldn't do it, was pretty telling. And he's one of the guys that, he came out, I don't know if it was before the playoffs or if it was in the playoffs. Sorry, my hair looked kind of weird. I don't know if it was in the playoffs, but it was I think it was right before the playoffs. He pretty much did a tweet like shouting out Jimmy Garoppolo, like, oh yeah, he's a winner, this and that, like, look at all these wins, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know, man. I just feel like the verdict's been out on Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he was I'm not gonna say he was vital, But he had some moments in their in the way that they finished the game and winning. What was it, like 8 out of the last 9? It was like 7 out of the last 9 or something like that. So I mean, he had some moments, especially I think like the Bengals game. He's pretty good. I think the week 17 he was definitely pretty good. So I mean, those 2 games he's pretty good. It's probably those 2 games are probably his best games of the season, I'd probably say. So I don't know. Like, I can't fully just say he's garbage because he's serviceable, but I don't think you can. I don't think you can win because of him. Like of course, he's done it. He's got some like games where it's like, all right, he deserves some. He deserves a lot of credit for winning the game, but for the most part, it's not on him for winning. So I say this to say that I don't know what the 49ers are going to be able to get for him. Honestly, like, it would be cool if they could trade for an edge rusher or a defensive back with like a maybe like a 4th round pick or something like that, like a decent player. But I just don't know what his. I don't know what his. Sorry, I just don't know what his value is right now. So with that being said, I wanted to go to some Niners Nation stuff to see what kind of piggyback off what these guys have been talking about. So my boy Jordan Elliot has an article on the top 5 positional needs for the 49ers this season, and I kind of agree with him. Maybe not the order, but I pretty much agree with him. He's got it at. Sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. All right, he's got it at 5 running back. I agree with that because Raheem Mostert. Especially with Mike McDaniel leaving to the Dolphins. I think Raheem Mostert, like, at first I was kind of like, okay, he's coming off an injury. The Niners should be able to retain him. But with Mike McDaniel's coming off of, going to Miami, I think McDaniels could try to lure him there. I think LaFleur may even try to get him up in New York. I don't know if Tevin Coleman's still there or whatever, but I think he's just, it could definitely be possible that we need a running back because with Trey Sermon, I think it's kind of telling that why he didn't play this much. I know he kind of dealt with some injuries. He dealt with some injuries, and I understand that, but I just don't know if he's like a wide zone fit, and maybe he kind of came in with Banks and Lance to try to maybe do some more gap scheme stuff and some different stuff, but I don't know. I think kind of like the more speedier type guys work better in Shanahan's offense. Jeff Wilson Jr. was kind of like that balance where it was like, kind of more like toughness, can catch type running back that Shanahan kind of like filled in the void. I think Carlos Hyde, I think he adopted him, so I'm not going to put that in there, but I feel like he's never really had like a. I'm not even trying to say that Trey Sermon's a mauler, but he's not. He's more of a physical running back than a speedy guy. So he's got 4 defensive tackle. I'm not gonna lie, I scratched my head at this at first because I was gonna expect that Eric Armstead stay inside, and I expected I expected Javon Kinlaw to come back decent shape. So. He talks about DJ Jones probably getting shopped around, and I 1,000% see that as well. Because I don't know if they'll be able to get what you call it back, but they have several they 1,000% have several defensive tackles they have to like address. So. They didn't really get too much out of Maurice Hurst this year. He dealt with a lot of injuries. I think a guy that they could probably get back is Kevin Givens. He's an exclusive restricted free agent, which is, sorry, I probably got to look that up just to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. I think we pretty much have a chance to match what he's offered. Yeah, we can offer him a league minimum, and if we offered him a league minimum, he can't negotiate with the teams. I don't know. I'm probably reading that wrong, but if that's the case, yeah, we definitely need to bring Kevin Gibbons back. He's got pass rush upside, pretty disruptive in the run game. I think Katavius Street is another guy we might be able to get for cheap. But I wouldn't be against a late round defensive tackle. Like I wouldn't put it at I wouldn't stress it. You know what I mean? I think maybe probably what's best is probably getting in a veteran guy that you could probably plug in, because I mentioned bringing Street back, but this was really supposed to be the season for Street to kind of show that he could, pretty much be a contributor. And he had some decent moments in the season. I feel like he had a really good preseason. He looked really good in camp. I thought he was going to be better at rushing the passer. He struggled a lot at times defending the run, for sure. So that's major. It just seemed like every time he was double teamed, he was in the linebacker's lap. So that's a little bit rough. So maybe he is right about the defensive tackle. I mean, I'm not here to butt heads with Jordan. That's my boy. I joke with him a little bit because he's super optimistic, and that's probably that's the best thing. I mean, how can you not be optimistic? But me, I'm more of I probably said this on the pod before. I'm more of a harsher critiquer. I want results. If the results aren't met, then I'm going to point to why the results aren't met. And I'm not coming at Jordan. I'm just saying more so I don't want to come at the fan base either, because I don't want to get dunked on if people leave me. I don't have that many followers or fans or whatever. But yes, you should be faithful and you should be, whatever happens, root for the team. But I think you should have some pushback. I think you should have expectations. No? I mean, especially when this team is constantly telling you that they can get to the big dance and they can win the big dance. I mean, that's the goal. All right, so 3, he has an edge rusher. And I like this. And I like this a lot. Because I definitely think that Eric Armstead should stay in the inside. I just think that's what he is. That was really my beef with the DeForest Buckner. That was my beef with the DeForest Buckner Eric Armstead trade. Because I thought Armstead was a defensive tackle. He was pretty decent at edge in 19. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he's pretty decent. I mean, he definitely had moments where you could see that, he's not as agile, he's not as fast or whatever, but he kind of showed that he could do it. In 2020, that's where it was even in 19, he definitely had moments where I was kind of this guy's a defensive tackle, but he played well enough for me to be okay, maybe he can play edge. So 2020, I was kind of 2020. All right, I'm back. So yeah, 2020, he was pretty good. He's pretty solid. And I think 2021, he even had some moments. 2021, he even had some moments where he was pretty good, but it was more so that in the beginning of the year, D4 was active, so you were seeing D4, you were seeing a guy with that bend, you were seeing a guy kind of close the pocket, do this and that. So it was kind of back to the Eric's not really an edge mode. So him moving to defensive tackle was huge. All right, so he's talking about Arden Key, Jordan Willis, and Katavius Street. Sorry, I don't mean to I probably sound like I'm bashing his article. I really don't want to bash him because he's doing great. Okay, so Arden Key, Jordan Willis, and Katavius Street are all scheduled to hit free agency. Right. Talk about Katavius Street a little bit. Jordan Willis is kind of a iffy player. I thought he'd be a little bit better this year. Arden Key, kind of the same. Iffy. I thought he'd be better at edge. He definitely had a lot better upside. Well, he had a lot better success rushing the passer from the inside, on third downs and stuff like that. So maybe we might could sneak him back. Maybe some team pays him. I don't know why a team would pay him, because he didn't really have that much success at edge. And most of his success came in the interior. So Honestly, that probably be my first article back tomorrow. Hopefully, um, is me looking at the edge group and then seeing like whatever edge should go in the second round because, like I said, I really thought the Niners needed a corner second round, but I don't know. I think keeping that front seven intact may be more important. Um, this is a guy, and I definitely, I'm 1,000% a guy that admitted that the pass rush over coverage mantra might be getting old, and I kind of still believe that just because it's a passing league. But I think that not having a key edge, because I don't know if they'll be able to cut D4. I don't know if they'll be able to move on from D4 or whatever, and it's definitely not a guarantee that he'll play next season. But I think that having that edge just keeps the Niners' identity with that strong front seven. So that's major. That's major. That's major. Okay, 2, defensive back. And yeah, it's funny because he said, I cheated here because I'm going to include safety and cornerback with the selection. So, I mean, he technically has 6 positions. But yeah, I agree. And I kind of talked about that earlier too. Like, I like Lenore, but I still think they should draft a corner. But my thing is with that is they may need to get a free safety over what you call it. They may need to get a free safety like before they get a corner. Hold on. All right, I'm sorry. It's like the 4th break, but I gotta wrap this up. Whew. Okay, interior offensive line. I like this one a lot because I really wanted them to get a center last year, even though they did pick up Alex Mack through free agency or whatever. And I think they're gonna lose Laken Tomlinson, who's been really pretty much a really good, I don't know if I want to say really good, but pretty much really good left guard for the 49ers since they traded for him. And or signed him. I think they traded for him. I'm pretty sure they traded for him. And but yeah, I think Mac is in his late 30s, like Jordan said, and Thompson is somebody's probably gonna pay Thompson. So I mean that's where I'm at with that. I probably jump to free agents right quick just because I'll probably go to free agents right quick and just go yay or nay if we should re-sign them, just because I'm kind of pressed for time and I gotta finish this up. So Mohamed Sanu, nay. Trent Sherfield, maybe wait it out. I think he could probably have an impact on special teams. I think Juwan Jennings kind of solidified himself as like receiver 3, maybe receiver 4, even if we because I think we should draft a receiver this year too, just to up the ante. You know what I mean? Keep the playmakers coming. So Juwan Jennings re-signed. Richie James Jr. Maybe not. Ross Dwelly. I think we should be able to get Ross back for pretty cheap. So yeah, Daniel Brunskill. Tavon Wilson, Marcel Harris, maybe. I don't know. I don't think anybody pays him as a linebacker, so we should be able to get him pretty instant. Raheem Mostert, I said that maybe he might go to Miami. There's no telling with that. Jeff Wilson, he was really underwhelming this year. Really underwhelming. Trenton Cannon, supposed to be a special teams ace. Not much he really did for me this year. Jermichael Hasty, I liked Hasty. I wanted Hasty to do more this year. I don't know if he was given that much of an opportunity. I think he's got upside. He is also an exclusive restricted free agent, so I think they should be able to get him back for cheap. Sorry, where am I at? I'm sorry, I gotta go. All right, Demetrius Flanagan Foles. Maybe I better get him back. Aziz Al-Shaair, yeah. Restricted free agent, have to get back. He outplayed Fred Warner for a pretty good stretch of the season this year. It was definitely a point where he was pretty much the best. I'd say he's probably he's pretty much the best defensive player on defense for a while. So yeah, Aziz Al-Shaair is a mandatory re-sign. Laken Thompson, I don't think we're going to ever get him back. Tom Compton, he's kind of anyway. Jaworski Tart, I think somebody's going to pay him. DJ Jones, I think somebody's going to pay him. Maurice Hurst was he was pretty much hurt all year. Didn't really get too much out of him. Kevin Gibbons, I think we should better get him back. Arden Key, if we can get Arden Key back at a decent contract, I'm not mad. Like I said, he didn't really have much success from me at edge. I think he I think his upside is, interior pass rusher on pass rushing in pass rushing situations. Jordan Willis, I thought he'd be a little bit better this year. Katavius Street, talked about him. Jason Verrett, I think we should really get back. Talked about him too. I don't think anybody's gonna really, go out and drop a bag on Jason Verrett. Kwan Williams, he may get paid and he may not get paid, but I don't think the Niners are gonna pay him like a major contract. So that being said, I want him to come back, but I think it's time to move on. He's so vital for the run fits. Great blitzer. I think his struggles in man-to-man coverage definitely showed out this year, and that's gonna be something that DeMeco Ryans wants to run more.